So Africa Media Online has been involved really with heritage and media for many years, been going almost 24 years. And more recently, we've been developing systems. We've developed our own system for many years, but more recently, we've started to represent systems into the African market. And a number of those systems are for building a digital archive, such as MediaGraph. MediaGraph is a great work in progress archive for internal management of media. Limecraft does a similar thing when it comes to audio-visual material. Picvario is a front end, what we call a middleware to make media available to the public. And so is AM Cortex, although Cortex is much more geared towards museums, archives, academic collections. And then what we're discussing today is Engage. And Engage is kind of the end of what we call a digital trade route. If you're getting all your digital media prepared right from your cupboard all the way to the audience, Engage is right at the point where you're engaging with the audience. And it's, as I've explained, a mobile app, and it allows you to push content to an audience and have that audience really starting to engage deeply with what's happening both geographically, but it also historic content and new content. You can be putting that content out to your audience through this app, and that audience can even respond in some ways to various offers or various events, bookings, and so on and so forth on the app. So that's really what we're going to be discussing today, is this Engage app. And particularly it's very useful for visitor experiences that are geographic in some way. In other words, an event or something that maybe you actually have a visitor attraction. So that's that's my introduction. And now I would like to introduce you to Kate Dearlove, who is from Fame Media Tech and who has been the sort of brains behind this application together with others. So over to you, Kate.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon for you guys. Thank you very much. So my name is Kate. My background is very content driven. I am passionate about the preservation of heritage and storytelling, and how we can sort of better engage with our community. Our community can be those super close to us. It can be, the village or the town that we live in. It could be, our entire country. It can be the world. But how do we engage? And, how do we create incredible relationships, especially, within the attraction business? How do we create these relationships, whether we are a museum and heritage site, whether we are, an aquarium, a wildlife park, a sort of theme park. It's a lot of it is with a visitor. It's around emotions. It's around sort of being very, very visual. And what we would love to do ideally as a host, as an operator, is creating long-term relationships, partnership with each and every visitor, because also hopefully that they will come back, that you stay as the operator, you are at the forefront of their mind. But coming up with all of this, also appreciated and understand that there are a lot of barriers to entry into this kind of digital market, from an app point of view. More often than not, traditionally, one would go to an external agency, a digital agency, who would cost it out. And no matter where you are in the world, it comes to an awful lot of money. And invariably what happens is that once it's been built, that's kind of it. In this day and age, everything's changing. Everything's, you've always got something new that you'd like to speak to your visitor about or share with your visitor or whatever. And you don't want this huge rigmarole around it. The other side of it also is, and I still see this in big institutions here in the UK, is data insights. Which is so important when you are, for any business, but especially in the attraction market, where are your visitors going? What's working? What's not working? What's the spend per head? Where have they come from? What is the average travel for each and every visitor? Sort of who is buying memberships, who's not buying memberships. And quite often, and this happened to me only a few weeks ago, I was at a really big heritage site, and a young person asked me with a good old clipboard, piece of paper and a pen, do I have 15 minutes to spare for her to go through a feedback form? Which I did. But at the same time, looking at her going, there's such an easier way to do this. Because as much as you're interacting with your visitor, the back end is collecting data. So it's been built around that. It's also been built around the fact that how many of you have a team of people who are there to handle all your content, to who are IT whizzes, can do sort of coding, all of that. Very, very few. And anyway, why would you want to? So this system on the back end is designed for very easy use. If you can copy and paste, if you can drag and drop, you can type, it's all for you. You absolutely do not need any tech expertise. When myself and my business partner came up with the idea, and I kid you not, we went to, then he was 8 years old, we went to his 8-year-old son and said, right, if we gave you this system, can you use it? And that was literally sort of the judgment around, how easy we wanted to make this system. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you a few examples of various clients and apps that have come about. You will see that there is a very basic theme or basic template, but how each of them have made it very much their own. And then we will switch to the back end, and I'm literally just going to show you a few pieces, because the good and the bad is that the system can do so much, and I don't want to be keeping you for any great length of time, because we will go into it in greater detail when we do a follow-up one-to-one. Is if anybody's got any questions, please do not hesitate. Just push them out there, and we can answer any questions that you might have. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to take myself off the laptop screen, and I'm going to come back in via my phone.
While Kate is doing that, Thomas, welcome. It's great to have you here. And maybe you could just introduce yourself briefly.
Thank you very much. I am Thomas Makara, and I am part of an NPC called Kijiji Zebo NPC, which Kijiji simply means village in Kiswahili.
Okay.
And Zebo is knowledge in Sesotho, and so on.
Fantastic. And what is and so what does that do? That organization?
We're basically come from being an insights agency and working for mainly specialists in consumer insights. And we got to a point where, we realized that from all our clients, they are ultimately just looking to sell more products, and those products cause a whole host of problems, such as pollution, for one example, apart from health-related challenges. And we decided to rather become a solution and anchor our approach on indigenous knowledge systems, in light of challenges that include your climate change, etc., and food security.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to interact with you. And I'm hoping this will also be of use to you. Thank you, Thomas. Over to you, Kate.
Thank you.
So, Kate, I think you're on mute because we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So like I said, I'm going to show you some different different clients that we currently have. We predominantly work in the wildlife safari arena, which is where we've done very, very well. We have some sport clubs, and then museum and heritage, as well as a festival too. So for instance, you'll see that we work with Cape Town Jazz Festival, which will be happening early next year. So I'm going to start off in the heritage space. We work with museums, heritage sites. This is a cathedral here in the UK, up in the north, and you will see that you go onto the app, and this is what we call the landing page, which just gives a brief overview as to sort of what is on the site, if there is a trail. The map comes in all sorts of different styles, and you will pick this up as we as we go, as I show you others. So you'll see with this one, it's a 3D showed of the building, and whatever is sitting on the outskirts, and then at the bottom you will have a scroll bar that sort of you will tap into in more detail. But to go back to the landing, you can scroll down. A visitor will be able to see what your hours are. They'll be able to just sort of get a basic overview of, what is happening right here, right now. News, any links to external, external sites, and then capture your day, which is where you can upload picture frames, and visitors are able to take pictures in the app using the frames and post them to social media. So it's a wonderful sort of marketing quirk. So through here, if you wanted to go through the map engine, so to speak, you can see sort of the different icons, and they've got a restaurant, let's have a look. You can navigate as well. I'm nowhere near this location, so I think it would take us 250 minutes to get there. But if you were closer, you would then be able to navigate and find your way. You can also look at content via the landing page, and the same goes with the other bits. But what I'm going to do is we're going to go into these different ones. So you can plan your day, and you think about you're going to go somewhere for the weekend. So I'm going to go and visit this cathedral for the weekend, and I'm sitting with my family, and I'm saying, right, let's have a look at what's on at the weekend and start to plan, some of the things that we'd be interested in going and, having a look at what events have they got. So, for instance, if you put events in your planner 15 minutes before the event, it will give you it will give you a reminder that your event is about to start. So you create a visit. I'm going to do it for today. It will allow me to. Let's see. So, right. I'm going to add that. So I think that's quite interesting. So I can go into the event, and this is where you would have, all your different bits of content, description, accessibility. You might attach a voucher. This is, I just, we put personal, they kept the text here very short and simple, but you can build it out, which is what I'll show you later. You can also, buy tickets through, online through here. And you can have all sorts of events going on here. And then I'm going to start, these are the exhibits. So this is where you would build out sort of what your different, some people call it exhibits, some call them habitats, some call it teams. Let's say if it was a sport club, so you can play video, audio, it's got imagery. I can give my feedback, and it will give me interesting pieces of information. So here you will see this has got a piece of audio. I'm not sure if it comes through. I know it comes through if you're wearing headphones, but for those who not, you might not hear it. And these are so easy to link up. You can also have areas where people can make donations, where they can sponsor quizzes. So it's also, this has been built around education, and you can link it to an external platform very, very easily. And in fact, I would hazard a guess that most people wouldn't even know that they've actually now moved over to a different site. I'm going to add that to my planner. So it's the same sort of layout. All these facts you can change to anything that you want it to be. The one thing that me as a content person that I have ensured is that the use of different types of media runs very smoothly, because I think there is nothing worse than trying to watch a piece of video and all you get is buffering. I'd rather not have that option. So I've added that to my planner. Trail finding. So for those of you who have pathways, have special trails, whether they be inside or whether they be in and around your community, you can set up different trails. They could be walking trails, cycling trails, or cycling routes. They could be, if you're a bigger organized, sort of a safari park, you can imagine sort of a safari drive. And it's got wayfinding. So as I go point by point, it will move me along to make sure that I am going in the right direction. I've got my basic information here. I'm told that it's an easy walk, that it's going to take me about 2 hours. What are the kind of requirements? Walking shoes, probably in this area, a good umbrella. Basic information. And then as I go in to the trail itself, let's switch this off because I'm nowhere near the cathedral. But this will basically move as I'm walking. Gives you information. You can attach it. So if I'm walking along an area of your site and next to the old mill is your coffee shop or is your exhibition of local fauna and floral artist, you can attach all those pieces to this particular waypoint and build it out. So I'm walking, like I say, I'm walking along. The other thing you can also do is you can take pictures inside the app. So you do not have to shut it down, take the picture, then try and find out where you are on your trail. Everything can be done in app. So let's finish that trail. And I can give my feedback. So you're collecting all this data. So some of it is automated data that doesn't require a typing kind of interaction with your visitor. And then others is like this, where I can give my gold stars, I can give my comments. And so no person with clipboard and pen is required. And so you can build, like I say, you can build out all sorts of trails. This is all divided up into different areas. So you've got your facilities, you've got your collections. So it might be that you have a water park with all sorts of different activities, but you've got somebody who only wants to look at, and this is where I'm going to show myself up because I'm not very au fait with water parks, but only wants to have a specific type of activity. And maybe it's a collection that's called Under Falls, and so maybe you've gone with a very young family and all you want to look at is a particular type. The same as, sort of, I want to add the restaurant to my planner. you can also attach vouchers and all of that as well with your planner. So here we are, we're getting ready to go and visit the cathedral. This is what our plan looks like. And you see that, well, we're only going to get there, you know, we're going to get there at 10 o'clock, but the tour only starts at 12:30. So, okay, well then let's do these first. Now, what we are going to get to a point is where our planner is actually going to be able to automatically suggest an order for you according to what you've chosen. And then here is where some of the interesting sort of maybe more revenue centric part of of the app is this is a digital wallet. Your tickets, memberships, vouchers all sit in here. I will show you some examples of the kind of dynamic ticketing and memberships that are in play here. So what that means is you keep your tickets, or your visitors have their tickets in their digital wallet. It cannot be stolen, borrowed, lent to a family member. It can't be screenshotted because they will be moving. You know, they move all the time. And also, it's a fab way of just keeping everything in one wallet. I know that I go and visit quite a lot of museums and heritage places, and I'm forever having to trawl when I'm at the gate, having to go through all my emails to go, well, I know my ticket's here somewhere. So it would be super nice if I could have everything in one place. If you have a ticketing system, it's an open API, which means that we can actually connect to your ticketing system, and the digital ticket will automatically load into the wallet. I'm going to shut this down and show you a few other examples and continue to. So this is a football club that we deal with. And what is interesting about this particular football club is they wanted an app that really was speaking more about their community of Redcar. It is a town in northeast England. They wanted it to talk more to the community than the actual football itself. So yes, they do. They have the teams, and yes, they do a Monday morning news update as to what the scores were for the various team. But this is about connecting with their community. You'll notice it's another style of map. So their events, their news, a lot of it is around what is going on locally. A fitness class, a youth club, chess club, connecting with local businesses. So your coffee shops, your restaurants, your cafes, all of that is here. And quite often what they'll do is they will offer vouchers. So this is a local coffee shop, and if I was to go into Rita's Pantry and show the app, I can get 10% off my order. So it's a brilliant way. And I was thinking of Mamelodi, the Mamelodi community, the heritage, the football club. It's a really, really great way of community building, and being partners with everyone that is around you. I want to show you what I mean. These are the kind of tickets and membership designs that we could do. So these are local in Redcar, because it's right by the sea. They've got all the wind turbines, and so you will see it's a fab way if you've got this kind of ability, because it locks in revenue around, because the amount of sharing that gets done when somebody's got, especially probably memberships more than tickets, because tickets tend to be for a specific, day event. But, it is so easy to, somebody's going off to, wants to go to a particular site, and you've got a membership. Oh, I'm not going this weekend, I'm away, why don't you borrow my membership? Whereas you could have actually got the buy-in from that person and got them to buy a membership. So I'm going to show you two more, and then we can go on to the back end. This is a safari park that we are working with. Completely different style. They're very loud and bright, and it's their style is very different. Let's say from the cathedral that you saw, but it just gives you an idea as to sort of how the basic template is the same, but through good design, it can change, and make it very, very personal to yourselves. This is a safari drive. Here you'll notice, see they've got more information. They have attached various exhibits. You can adopt. So in the animal, in the wildlife arena, adoption of animals is very big. I am going to show you a quiz. So education is, and insights and education are probably the two super key areas, for us, especially in that sort of more museum, heritage, and wildlife to a point, arena where, if you're taking an entire family, you might find that the younger ones find it a little bit sort of like, oh, don't know if I want to be here. So if you can, engage them into, with various, it's almost like gamification, education, through, sort of through making it fun. So let's find, I always forget which one it's done. I think it's this one. So this has got a quiz to it. And when you write, it makes whistles, and when you're wrong, it's, it will sort of make a noise as well. And then if you get 100%, a whole lot of confetti, will explode. And you can, these are so easy to come up with. So I was creating this through the Rugby World Cup, so which is why we've got a rugby exhibition. But this is a way that you've gone to all this this length of digitizing, sort of all the archive content that you've got, and you know, how can you make it sort of, how can you present it in a different way? So I think here this has got a piece of audio. I don't, like I said, I don't think it comes through unless you've got your earphones in. Accessibility information. And if you've got sponsors, you can, you know, like I say, you can put your, you know, sort of put corporate sponsorships, and tie it in with, you know, their site, give their branding space, as well as if you've got individual adopters, in individual donations. Some people don't want to have their name, you know, sort of splashed all over the place, but, you know, other people would like, you know, sort of, or don't mind the acknowledgement. And then just show you one last thing. I think this is, yeah. So this is just a different style of tickets that was designed. So yeah, it's really easy.
Kate, just coming in there, you can you explain a little bit more? Obviously, there's a graphic that is moving in that ticket. That's why you can't just screen grab it and then go and show it, because if you screen grabbed it, it won't be moving anymore. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm just waiting for it to show up. There we go. Yeah, no, that's exactly what that's all about. Is to stop you know, people from screenshotting, so, and to protect the revenue that, you know, that the operator yeah, that the, you know, that what the operator needs, basically.
Great. Can you show us the back end?
Is there anything else that anyone would like to see specifically from the front, from sort of the front end?
Any questions from anyone before we go into the back end? I think we can proceed to the back end.
Okay, all right.
Are
So
you
I'm going to come
show
back.
one of those frames, picture frames?
I will. Let me find one. Who's got one?
I know that
Northumberland's do.
Northumberland's
Okay.
do, yeah. Particularly for the kids who want to take selfies.
Okay, so this is where all the different frames will sit. Let's see which one I fancy. And actually, I've got one other thing I'm going to show you as well.
You have to turn your camera around.
Oh no, I see. I never do selfies.
There's that. Yeah, there you go. They're a bit too hidden.
So now, hang on, wait. There we go. It's busy processing. So now I can share it on my social media your social, on the attraction social media. So it's a really, really good branding exercise. And then there's one last thing I want to show you on the front. Is in the wildlife arena, we work with a wonderful company called Zoo Life, who basically live stream, put cameras into enclosures and set up live streaming. And the way it's done is that it offers live streaming subscriptions to viewers all around the world, and it's a wonderful revenue opportunity for operators in this particular arena, this particular sector. So this particular client of ours, she's got two. One is the raccoons and the other is the snow leopard. The raccoons tend to come out more than snow leopards. Let's just see if I can find one. But it also shows you, because we're open API, that we can plug it. It's really easy for us to plug in. So let's have a look and see if we can find right. Are they out? Doesn't look like it. Just moving the camera around. No. Let's try the raccoon. But what a wonderful way to stay engaged with your visitor, and for them to be able to see. So let's see. This camera might be offline. Yeah, it looks like it might have fallen over. It's blowing a gale here, almost as bad as a Cape southeaster. So I reckon it's fallen. But anyway, it's just a fun and way. And so what happens is, with her cameras that she's got in her zoo, is it also then is distributed via the Zoo Life main platform. And for every user globally to Zoo Life that buys a sort of a subscription to view all of their animals globally, Northumberland Zoo receives a percentage of all those subscriptions. So yeah, let me shut down here and leave. Sorry, I've just got to find out how to do.
Right. Are there any questions while Kate comes in to the back end? Anything that you have at the top of your mind? Otherwise, Kate can go ahead with the back end. I know we've only got sort of 4 minutes left.
Oh, okay. So I just want to show you then the look and the feel as to just how easy this all is. There's just so much to show, which is why it always ends up running. So this is your basic. Am I sharing?
No, you're not sharing at the moment.
Okay. Okay. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
So every operator gets one of these. This is the basic look and the feel. We're actually doing a super upgrade, which goes live on the 1st of Feb. Version 2 of this is what we call the back end. Everything is down here on the right hand side. Your various map styles. So what you would be doing is you would be mapping out, your entire site, sort of putting in some information, and then taking your drawing tool, and basically boom, and you would be mapping out your site. Really, I want to cancel that because I've noticed we deal with multi-sites. We can deal with also different levels. You would then build out your zone. And then when it comes to the content side, so let's just show you. So you'll see, I'm going to show you one of the things we actually looked at. So you'll see it's all got this look and this feel. So if you can copy and paste, if you can drag and drop, you've got, also help here with drop down boxes where needed. Sustainability is a big thing globally, and visitors, a lot of visitors want to see how socially sustainable we are. If you were to link something like I showed you how it can flip between into an external, it's just here. All this can be copied and pasted, and you've got also the resources that myself and AMO offer. Same goes with media files. You literally, if I was to have a media file on my right hand side, I literally would just be dragging it and dropping it and just plopping it into here. That goes for JPEGs, that goes for video, and that goes for audio. Live streaming, we can connect it up to any live streaming that you might have. And then the next thing is you take a pin and you just plonk it on the map, and that's how you see on the front. It gives the visitor a really good idea where everything is. The other thing that this also the system has is you can do away with any external marketing tools, because it has a built-in marketing email and push notification. And because you're gaining all this data around where your visitors are or who is interested in what, you can be very granular in how you engage and the kind of messages and what offers you want to do, because you will be able to go, right, I want to email everybody who's currently on site right here, right now, and that they have interacted with, you can, I think of like the snow leopard, and you can save that and then quickly put an email together or push notification if they're on site and go, come back to our snow leopard enclosure, because she has just learned how to do a backward flip. I mean, I don't know, I'm being silly here, aren't I? But you can imagine if you've got an exhibition coming up and you know that somebody is really, a visitor's very interested in a particular subject matter, you can be able to really communicate with them, you know, down at, like I said, a minute, at a granular level. So you've got, you know, so many different ways to sort of get all these insights for not only internal operations but also for communication. I just want to show you one last thing. So here are some of the engagement insights that, you know, you'll be drawing on in a live capacity. So this is a live client. It's Northumberland Zoo. This is their, you know, their audience. So this is everyone who's got a ticket and membership. How many visits, and we, you know, you can change this. What's the average visit time? And this is being worked on at the moment, but it's got heat mapping. So you'll be able to see where the visitors are at the moment. At the moment, she's got quite a few visitors. And we're going to, in the next few weeks, is actually have this as a moving heat map. So like little ants, you know, where everybody is busy. Something's obviously going on up here in the top right. And the ponies and the pigs aren't getting any visitors, bless them. But this is just a minuscule amount of what all of this is capable of doing, in a nutshell. Back to you, Dave.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kate. That was a great tour of the system, which is, as I'm sure you can see, very powerful and and has real potential. So I see others had to leave in the meantime, but we will make the recording available. Aubrey, any questions from you?
You know, Dave, this is I can say it's too much to take. I am experiencing it for the first time, and I am in awe and fascinated by, you know, how things are done outside there. We are in the townships where there are lots and lots of challenges.
Mm.
Indeed, we have businesses that are up and running or operational,
Yep.
but you know, they have their own challenges, and it would be very much important for people to really understand this new, you know, processes that are unfolding around the world, and we must just adapt. It is now key that people need, you know, to move into that direction. I know for a fact that there are 2 apps in Mamelodi where they coordinate, you know, restaurants and shops, and that would be the starting point in an actual fact. And as I was saying, Mamelodi Sundowns is one of the biggest brands in Africa today.
Yep.
But how accessible are they? That's another question. I know the guys there, but it would be very much important with their heavy schedule. But it is not something that could actually be left unchallenged or be tested. It would be important that you know, they also get to be informed. This is a great initiative, honestly, and I'm fascinated by these innovations, and it requires us now to really get out of our cocoons and try and do the right things.